Hi everyone, Nikki from Rustic Restyle in North Canterbury, New Zealand, and I'm looking at our beautiful paint inlays today, and in particular Melange. I think that's how you pronounce it. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful front cover apart from anything else. So let's have a look on the back covers. They always show us how many pages, and there's 8 pages of beautiful patterns there, amazing instructions step by step, and on the bottom some ideas about how to use these. And there we go. So that is Melange Paint Inlay. That is the size of the sheet. Now in inches it's 12 by 16. Haven't got the centimetres offhand, but you'll see on the back there that they had all sorts of different patterns on this one. Now I'm just trying to pick this up. This is a full page pattern, one of the 8 sheets. Some of them have smaller pieces you cut out. This is a full page. You can still choose to cut it out. You can choose to take the wording out and have something in there that you want, of your choice. What is a paint inlay? Well, each sheet comes with this lovely firm, well, it's a bit heavier than tissue really, it's proper paper, and they are on a grid sheet like this, so you can match them up and align on your straight lines and get them exactly where you want. And on the back is the actual product. A little bit harder to see with the black. However, that is artist pigment paint on there. Really good, strong colorways, and grabs really, really well. So that's the full, one of the full sheets. Let's see if I can grab. I've chopped these up to pieces, so it's a wee bit hard. Chop these up in all sorts of pieces. Oh, here's the one that gives you a bit of an idea. I've only chopped it into 2 pieces. So on this page we get, you can get it in my hands, we get a whole lot of lovely bees. Look at that. And then there's the wording underneath as to what they are. And these 2 beautiful, beautiful old-fashioned rose-looking prints. Yep. Now you can put these designs down. I'm just being a bit careful because they are artist pigment. I don't want you to get them wet, otherwise the design will come away. All right, how do we use these guys? Well, first up, you chop them up into the bits that you want, or use the whole sheets. Yep. And today I've got this lovely wee chopping board. Yep, we're going to make it as a decorative piece with the paint inlay, but we will put a number of top coats on there, so there is some wearability. I wouldn't chop on it, but you can wipe it and do things like that. So what have I done to this board? It was a dark timber, and I have simply given it a couple of washes because the first time round it didn't have enough colour for me. With the Van Gogh paint line in Muse, which is a beautiful French putty shade, and you can still see, you see that the texture and the lines in the timber. Now let's pop you down, less looking at me and more looking at the products. Yeah, so there's our board, and I've got these pieces that I've cut out. I think I remember how I was going to put them. This guy is gorgeous. Look at him, absolutely gorgeous. The wee printing down the bottom there. So what do you face the dark? You can see that's obviously dark, and that's not. And you can see the grid lines on here, and not hardly at all on that side. So the side that is dark is where the print is, the artist medium print is. Let's have a wee play here. I sort of had it sussed, and I think I was going to put him up there, and this one over a bit and down. And then we've got these beautiful scissors. We'll pop those in there, something of that kind. So how am I going to remember this when I go to put this down? Because we're taking pieces off. Well, I'm only going to do one piece at a time. So then I've got that sorted. Now, I've cut this so that make my life easier. So the edge is the edge of the board, yeah, on there. And the corner down here, we might just, no, he's probably going to lift them up a bit. But if all else fails, put a little crease. Put a little crease or cut it. You know, I could cut that little curve there and I would know to place it exactly there. Now, I want that a bit straighter than that. So, yep. I'm going to turn them around. Yeah, that looks good. That's out there. Great. And we've got our strawberry. Yep, he looks good. Just down from there. Keep him straight. Don't tip that one over. All right. So we'll have a play with those other two pieces and that once we get this one down. And I think I'm going to turn it around because that gives me a better look coming through here. And I think you guys can see that quite well from where you are. All right. So tuck these out of the way. And what am I going to use? What medium am I going to use to put this down today? I'm going to use our lovely synthetic mango brush and the mango tabletop in, got my head, words all mixed up, in the flat. Yeah, let's not go there. All right, so you can use tabletop sealers. Let me just pop you back up here. Water-based sealers and our mango satin and flat are both water-based and very low in any sort of chemicals or anything like that. Wash out in soap and water. No problems with any sort of septic systems or anything like that. Can attest to that one myself. You can also lay these inlays down into the chalk-based paint. That's a really good way of doing it because you get to use your patterns more than once that way. I have used Chateau 3 times. I have samples in the shop here of a lovely big board that I did to make it look like a plaster fresco kind of thing. Oh, it's gorgeous. First time round. Next time round, I just did it on a board with a simple Sophia white, which is a nice warm white in the mango range. And then the third time, we have a wee tray, and I put it on the tray, and it is faded and worn and awesome. So, which is my favourite? Probably the tray. It's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, when you use with sealers, some sealers you get a chance to have another go at, and we'll have a play and see how that works for us. This is the first time I'm using it. So I'm practicing on you guys. So we've got, let's get it down, eh? The process of applying is exactly the same, whether you're using paint or whether you're using a finishing sealer, a water-based finishing sealer like I am. Now I'm using the flat because that helps you to see what's going on. How far up does that come? Comes up to about there. And I'm being relatively generous because we want some product on here for this to be able to inlay. Get your brush on the right spot. And then a matter of getting your positioning right. Getting that's about straight there. I don't want them too close to the edge, and we want them about there. And I've just got my finger underneath there so that the inlay is up off of the product, and I can just tweak it around and make sure it's straight. And there we have it on straight away. Now I've got a sponge here, nice and wet, one of these ones with the pot scrubber on the back, but this is the side we want. And we moisten and press the inlay down, and you can see all of a sudden it pops, yep, into colour, and we want to make sure we give it a good press. Some people like to use their brayers at this stage. I'm not so bothered about that. You'll see there's the odd wrinkle comes up. I am definitely not bothered about that. I quite like a little bit of organic. Ta-da, done. All right, now we've got a little bit of extra product out here, so I'm just going to clean that off a little bit for use, making ease of the next application. Now we might just double check with those strawberries. Can you see? Just, yeah, you can, just there. Great. And double check where I'm going to place those. So he's definitely going into that corner space. Oh, don't do that. There. All right, so let's get some product down on this corner. As I say, relatively generous. As a top coat, you would use very thin layers and build them up with this as a the here and there. We don't want that in there, do we? We'll just smooth him out, and I'm going to lean over. Hopefully I'm not going to be in your way, but I reckon right about there is a good spot. Quickly smooth it down. Good to go. Sponge, wet sponge. You can use a spritz bottle like this and add a little bit of moisture if you like. I've got a wee bucket here that I can moisten my sponge with, and again we'll just clear any, yep, didn't mean to do that, just give that another press, clear any excess down. All right, so I think what we'll do is we'll just get on and put this piece on, because we just need to get him on, don't we? All right, so he's going to go about there, I think, just enough. Bear in mind, space is as important as pattern in whatever you are doing. So the amount of space between things is equally as important as to how much design that you have going on. And, you know, interesting fact, that works for flowers as well as everything. Anyway, here we go. Take the excess off. All right, it's looking good. It's looking good. Now we're going to pop our scissors in. So they are going to sit, I think I'll sit them almost up to there. Now let's get the product on. Make sure we've got enough to go all the way down. There we go. And we want these relatively straight, don't we? Now let's just try. There. Press that down, follow through. Yep. So it's not rocket science. Oh, look at that. But there's just the little techniques and tips. Done. So there's our application, guys. Look at that. It's really good. Just whip out that excess tabletop there, and we'll leave that to dry. Yeah. How do we know when it's dry? Okay, well, you've got to know I've prepared one ahead of time, right? So that is what we've got so far. Newly adhered onto our board. Over here we've got a large board. It took me ages to fiddle around to try and figure out how and where I was going to place those. But look how opaque that is in comparison with that. So that is newly applied, still wet. Once it gets looking like this, this is when you start to take on the next step. And we don't want that paper on there, do we guys? We want to get that off. Right. Just pop the lid on my water-based sealer. It's always good practice so it doesn't dry out on us. Now let's get you down and have a bit of fun. All right. Okay. You all right, dear? Yeah. We might start on the small one. And what we do is you grab your trusty sponge again and you wet it. Because what we are trying to do is release that paper and that design. All right, now that doesn't look to be quite enough. There we go, in my sponge. Now you wet it till it shows up again like this. Yeah, so you can see the difference between the dry, opaque, and it's wet again. And just let it be. Just let it sit there for a little minute. And in the meantime, we'll just quietly work our way along. This is when your wee spritzer come along. You don't want it sopping wet. You want it quite damp. You soon get the hang of it. And this melange inlay is great because you can do small projects. You can decide just to use one of your pieces to learn on, yeah, and do something small, and then that way you get a chance to practice without applying it to a whole piece of furniture or something of the like. Well, then once you've got your hands in, I do have to say, it's like the Iron Orchid designs, everything they make. It is, definitely. It is definitely addictive. I'm very much afraid to say, but it's great. The so satisfying when you peel these off. So you got to remember, wherever you have paper, you need to wet all of the paper. Yeah, not just the design, but everywhere that paper is. So we'll just go all the way around because the paper is not going to release unless you wet it. Now with when you use paint, you can leave it for as long as you like really to dry. When you're using these top coats, it's a good idea to allow it to just dry and then get onto it, because they do perform in a different way, don't they? Right, hopefully that's what we need. Yep. All right. So I'm going to have a wee peep. And getting it started sometimes can be, well, I've just lifted that with my fingernail. Never mind, we can fix that. Oh, yeah. Alrighty. So forget about the little bit that I've scratched up with my nail and just see if I can't get you a bit closer. Shift the spritzer a bit closer here as I peel that pattern down. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Those words and the scissors, they are just popping off, and there we have it. And there's what's left. And I'll lay that down on a sheet and we'll see how we go from there. Alrighty, look at that. That is gorgeous. Right, let's just keep cracking on, hey? And don't put your fingernail in it, Nikki, because it's soft with the tabletop being on it. And you get these beautiful organic pieces where you might have had a little crease in the paper or something of the like. Just gorgeous. Because of course we do not want perfect. this is as close to perfect as you can get, really. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Now I'm placing those pieces to one side with the ink side up, and we'll let them dry, and we'll have a play, and we'll see if we can get another go out of them. I have my doubts because it's a sealer we're using, but if we can't use these pieces for another inlay. Oh look, that's dry, so we need to, it's gone over the edge, so we need to dampen that to help it release. So I'll just leave that for a moment, and we'll come on to this guy here. Yep, the big fella. And this backing paper is just not wet enough down here, and it's caught where the knife and spoon went over the top, so we will just let that be. And you know, I'm not bothered, we'll fix that up as and when we can. Artichoke heaven. Oh, looky. I'll just pop this down over here. Oh man, it is gorgeous, so gorgeous. Look at that. Do I worry about that? No, probably I don't actually. I possibly quite like it, which is, you know, not everybody's cup of tea, but that's okay. You'll just be a whole lot more careful when you do it. I tend to get a little bit carried away. See that stop? Just not lifting the way that it should. So I'll just get a bit more moisture on there. And we'll touch this bit here because, oh, I don't want it to swim. That's where I got it caught before. Okay, let's see. Is that going to help us lift? Now we just need to give that a moment or two on there. So we might start at the other side and come over there last. You see what I'm doing, guys? Yep, pretty much. Not bad, is it? It's quite a long board, this one. And I have to tell you, this is a huge improvement on what it was looking like before. Oh, look at that. Now let's see how that's going to appear, shall we? There we are. Got him. I'll just lay him down there for the time being. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Gorgeous. Look at that gorgeousness. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, look at the detail on that fork and those beautiful plants. Look, the scissors. Oh, yeah. And these pieces, that's the grain showing through, and that's the grain showing through in the bit that I picked up by accident. But it's okay, it's all good. And these are the grain coming through, the knots, you know. So look at that. There we have it. That's your paint inlay. That's how easy it is. That's my first go with our sealer. So not bad for a first try. Not bad for a first try at all. Now what we do is we wait for that to completely dry. And that's an overnight thing. Yeah. So allow it to completely dry off, and then you have to remember that it's just pigment paint. And anything that you touch it with a water base is likely to make it bleed, you know, smear and things like that. We will have a wee play and see how we go. There has been some success with letting it set up for a day or two even, and making sure it's really, really dry and really, really set up. That paint is set in there, and then coming just over with a very soft brush or even a roller and sealing it. Otherwise you can utilize a can spray and spray it so that your brushes don't touch it. You can also use the Mango line. It used to be Van Gogh, new owners, and they've changed it to Mango paint, which sounds a little bit similar, and I do get a little bit twisted by doing that too. Anyway, 50-50 tabletop, Mango tabletop, 50 water, 50 tabletop, in a spritz bottle, spritz it over. Not so that you've got drips, but just to give that first seal. Let it dry well, and then you can go for it with whatever you like. Whether you want to put a couple of extra coats of the water-based sealer, whether you want to put glaze on there to age it up a little bit, distress even. What else? Crackle stamp, distressing stamp, all sorts of options. I'll leave it as it is because it's actually quite cool this way. I'll show you in that time. The other little board we've done has started to dry, and it's just sort of half and half now, and we will leave that to dry, and we'll follow the same process that we did on this chopping board, and then we'll be fine. I cannot wait to see this finished, so I'll send some pictures through for you. Okay, so that's how easy our paint inlays are, and how wonderful the Melange paint inlay is from IOD. Okay, rightio, I'll leave you to craft and make your do your furniture, do your crafts, do whatever you like. Any questions, email me, nikki@rusticrestyle.co.nz, and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Okay, bye for now.